show based on the teachings that food is medicine. We're here to learn and connect to the beautiful lands that we're on today. Rachel, where are we?
Today we're on the beautiful KwAKMIS territory, also known as Tofino. We're gonna go out and harvest with our good friend Tom Campbell from Ahousaht, and he's gonna take us on his traditional territory, and we're gonna see what we can find.
Wonderful. Oh my God, what a way to celebrate the people of these lands.
My name is Rachel, and I'm a registered dietitian and diabetes educator. I'm originally from Prince Rupert, and I'm a member of the Loch Spillam band.
My name is Fiona. I'm a white settler of Irish ancestry, and I also am a dietitian and a lover of food and eating and connecting. And I know that's kind of what we're hoping for with this series, is to set the table with food, people, and relationships, and so we can learn together and connect. Like, how gorgeous of a day is it, and a day to celebrate Indigenous peoples.
Hello, iSpark friends. Welcome. We are so excited that you're here with us today. Myself and Fiona are on the beautiful Ahousaht territory here at our friend Tom Campbell's home. There's a few things going on in the background, some clams being shucked. There's some salmon on the fire, which I'm really excited about. And we're gonna share with you some of our favorite recipes, as well as some of the food we harvested on these territories.
Our friend Mel Charlie shared her famous salmon cakes, and so Rachel's gonna help us learn how to make them, and I'm really excited because they have potatoes in them and salmon together.
Yes.
So yay. Tell me more about these cakes.
So what we love about this recipe is that it uses 1 jar of canned or jarred salmon. If you don't have jarred salmon, you could also use the regular tin salmon from the grocery store. But for 1 jar of salmon, it makes about 8 to 10 patties, so it goes a long way. We're using these Yukon Gold potato, and we're gonna keep the skin on. So the skin helps add fiber to the dish, and it also makes it easier, so you don't have to be peeling as much.
Yeah, isn't most of the nutrition of a potato in the skin? Mm-hmm. Oh, so that's so great. So the fiber, but then also like some other nutrients? Or?
Yeah, a lot of the nutrients sit just under the skin. So when you're peeling a carrot or a potato, you're missing out on a lot of that nutrition. So we're gonna keep the skin on, and then we're gonna grate the potato. If you don't wanna use regular potato, Yukon potato, what else could you use?
Well, I was thinking, because I always think about when as a dietitian, the more color the better. And I love the beautiful potato, but I was thinking, could you use sweet potato?
I think that would be great.
It would be pretty, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't know if that was an option. And I also, when I think of cakes, I was wondering, could you also grate zucchini into it too?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then again, just clean it and then the skin.
And then grate it. Yeah. And then what we're gonna do with the potato, the grated potato, is we're gonna squeeze as much water out as we can. And you would have to do that the same with the zucchini, because the zucchini is quite watery. So we're gonna make sure we really squeeze the potato once we grate them. Okay, and so, Mel Charlie also shared with us that a lot of people have frozen hash browns in their freezer, so you could also use that as well. So that's a quick, easy option. If you don't want to kind of fuss around with the grating, you could use the frozen hash browns.
What I'm seeing when I look at the options that we have here, a lot of times these are foods I actually have in the house. Mm-hmm. Like an onion. So it's really like an onion, fish, a potato, and an egg. And then if you have spices,
Exactly.
So this could be that oh my God, I'm exhausted dinner.
Yeah.
Okay.
And everything else is just a bonus. Like, I love the combination of fish and dill. But if you don't have dill, that's fine, or you could use dried dill. And a little bit of mustard adds a little kick, but it could be any mustard. This is kind of fancy seeded mustard, but you could use your regular mustard. So let's get started. Okay, so first we're gonna grate the potato. So what the recipe is about 3 cups of grated potato. So it's about 3 medium potato. It could be 2 to 3 cups. So we'll start with these 3 potato and see how we go. Some of my Ahousaht friends have shared that instead of grating the potato, you could use leftover mashed potato as well. So that's another quick, easy meal. And I think also having it for breakfast would be delicious.
Oh.
Okay, and then so next for the recipe, we need about 1/2 a cup of red onion. If you don't have red onion, the spring onion would be really nice as well. I personally love red onion. Okay, so you can chop them as fine as you like, depending on how your family feels about onion. If you're trying to hide them for kids, then you want to get them really fine. But if you're like me and love onion, then I think this size is good. All right, so it's about 1/2 a cup of onion. We're not going to measure anything.
So one of the things I was told about onion recently is, because sometimes it can be a really strong flavor, and just to soak a couple pieces of onion that you're going to use in vinegar, and it kind of takes some of the acid away.
Okay.
And so the flavor is a bit milder.
Okay.
So if you're not like a huge onion fan, I found that new trick. So I have a few family friends that say, do not put onion in things, but I'm hiding it by just for 10 minutes soaking it in a bit of vinegar.
I love that.
Yeah.
Almost like a pickled onion.
Yeah, so it just takes the severity out.
Okay, so here we have some fresh dill. Feel free to use the dried dill. You know, the recipe that we've come up with is about 2 tablespoons of fresh dill. If you were using dried dill, it would be a little bit less, so you could start with 1 tablespoon and see how that goes. But I'm just gonna chop this fresh dill, and not super fine, because I think nice chunks of dill taste really good in these patties. So I'm just gonna do a little chop like this. So next step, what we're gonna do is we're gonna crack 2 eggs into this bowl. And so the eggs act as a binder.
One of the things we got, if you ever wanted to use this.
Sure.
Yeah. Do you want to share a little bit?
You can share.
Oh. Well, just that you're cracking eggs, and Tom took us out, and Rachel went and got some seagull eggs. So could you substitute, do you think?
Yeah, I think you definitely could substitute. So seagulls lay their eggs in June. So there is a protocol when you are harvesting seagull eggs. So always go with somebody that knows the protocol. And the seagulls here eat a very nutritious diet of seafood. It's very clean. So we're really excited to try these seagull eggs. But for this recipe, we're just going to use regular chicken eggs. And then we're going to try the seagull eggs on their own, so we could really kind of get a sense of what the flavor is. Okay, so I have 2 eggs in here. We're just going to whisk them really slightly. Okay, and then we are going to open this jar of salmon. And so this is always, you know, a skill. Some people can do it so fast. But what I was told is to get a butter knife and look for a lip. And then just kind of, there you go.
Oh, nice.
And so.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Where did we get this fish?
This fish was gifted to Robin.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
This is from Robin. Thank you, Robin.
We don't want too much juice in the actual patties because we're trying to not have too much liquid in the patties. So I'm just gonna add the fish here.
That is some beautiful salmon.
And then we're gonna add the onion. And then so that was about 1/2 a cup of onion, and then we have about 2 tablespoons of dill, or a little bit more because I love dill. And then what we're gonna do is, do you mind adding about a tablespoon of mustard? Just a nice big squirt. Maybe more, yeah. Perfect.
Don't be shy.
And because I find with jarred salmon, you never really know how salty it's gonna be. I try not to add too much salt to any recipe that I'm adding jarred salmon to, but I think because we have quite a bit of potato, we'll add just a pinch of salt, so maybe like equivalent to 1/4 teaspoon.
Tell me when to stop.
That looks great, thank you.
Perfect.
And maybe a little pepper.
Yes. Who doesn't love pepper? These are beautiful cedar holders that you have for them.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous.
Okay, and then I'm going to, you know, drain the potato. So this is my attempt at squeezing.
Oh my gosh, there's that much water in a potato.
Whoa, look at that. That was a lot. All right, so now we're just gonna mix.
Mix it up?
Mix it up. I have a confession. I was a very unhealthy kid. I didn't eat my first vegetable till I was 16.
What?
Yeah.
I love that you're confessing this on camera.
I know. Well, I was just gonna add that I also didn't know how to cook until I left for university. So I wasn't involved in the cooking at home. And yeah.
Oh my gosh, Rachel, this is the cutest story ever.
Luckily, we had a lot of salmon and moose, so you know, I wasn't malnourished.
So can I tell you, what was the moment when you decided to try vegetables at 16? Like, what was the shift?
Yeah, I met someone that was a vegetarian.
So like a peer influence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we are going to now cook the salmon patties on this grill. So if you just had a frying pan at home, probably like a medium to medium high heat. So for this we're using olive oil, but you could really use, you know, whatever oil you have. Probably wouldn't use coconut oil. I don't know about coconut.
Would add a bit of a flavor, hey?
Yeah, but okay, so we have some olive oil and we're just going to add it to
You could use canola oil or whatever oil you have in the house too, right? But we like olive oil a little bit more health-wise.
Yes.
And environment-wise. So I'm trying to figure out how to grill well salmon cakes because I find, so what kind of temperature are you cooking these at today?
Yeah, so I'm gonna do like a medium to medium high heat.
Okay.
So, you know, here it's 350. We're gonna try that. But if you're at home on your stove, you could just, you know, change that to medium high.
And have a warm grill.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And so, you know, about 1/3 of a cup to 1/2 a cup of patty in your hand. And see, I'm kind of just squeezing it out because that'll help it stick together. And so let's go here.
Oh, that sound is good.
All right.
Those look great. So, you know, nutrition is the focus. Food is medicine is our kind of foundation to try and create just that connection to food, land, forest, waters, and also the kitchen. As you can see, we have a very beautiful kitchen today. But can we talk a little bit about why, like, both of us as nutritionists, dietitians, really love this food combo?
Yeah. You know, I mean, salmon is, you know, one of my favorite foods, both in taste and nutrition value. Salmon's well known for its omega-3 fatty acid content, and it's been well established that that's really important for brain health, especially for pregnant mothers. Can be cardioprotective, so it can protect your heart, and can also help your joints. I'd love to hear from some community members here in Ahousaht on why they love salmon. I think it might be something at a deeper level, connecting to the land and the ocean, and it being such an important staple, traditional food. And what about your experience working in Coast Salish territory in salmon?
Yeah, I mean, people have been so kind and generous with me, learning about just the connection to salmon. And I can always go back to this one feast. We were in KwAKMIS First Nation, and salmon was on the table. The table was set with salmon, and I had never been in a space, as soon as the salmon was served, the room shifted to like laughter and joy, and it was really special for me as an outsider. And I kind of asked, I said, what's happening here? What's going on? And they said, we're with our relative right now. Like, salmon is our relative. And so they shared with me just about how they care for it and just acknowledge it. And also, again, like sustainable fishing. They have the reef net fishing in those homelands. And so, yeah. But again, like with you as a dietitian, sometimes I think about just like the anti-inflammatory. So like taking inflammation out of the whole body. So like you mentioned, the heart and the joints. But if you don't eat fish, is there other ways to get healthy fats?
Definitely. So omega-3 fatty acids for, you know, people that don't have access to fish or maybe don't like fish. Flax seeds, that's probably the best source. So just a few tablespoons of flax seeds a day would be enough omega-3 fatty acid for the week.
Yeah, my favorite would be the walnut.
Yes, yes.
We talked about that one of our videos. Just we don't have a walnut with us, but walnuts, kind of the whole ones look like the brain. And that's what omega-3 fatty acids are good for, brain development, you said, for the moms, but also for infants and 0 to 5. Those healthy fats really help brain development.
Okay, so now let's make our aioli.
Yay!
So maybe tell us what's going to be in it.
Yeah, well, we were just sitting together and you drained the oil and asked us if anyone else wanted to drink it. And we were like, I don't know. And I had a thought about it being the base for an aioli because I really love drizzling some kind of sauce on top because I usually eat them we're going to make a salad and put the salmon cakes with the salad. So we're going to add, lots of people have had aioli, but basically it's fancy ketchup, but not ketchup. So it's a dip. But this one really has that medicine in it. So we've got the juice of the salmon with some lovely garlic. And I mean, many of us know about the medicine from garlic. It's antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory. And what did you, cardioprotective? It's really good for our heart.
And I love onion and garlic for its prebiotic benefit. And so I always think, okay, prebiotics feed the probiotics, and probiotics being the good bacteria in our gut. And we know that our gut is so vital for our immune system, as well as many other things, including mood. So onion and garlic, some of the best prebiotic foods that we have available today.
Yeah, I see probiotics a ton in the grocery stores, like in containers. So that's like the healthy gut bacteria in our gut. So it's natural, we have it. And then prebiotic is what they eat.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
They're like chomping on it and
chomping away on the onion and garlic.
Wonderful.
Okay, and then we're just gonna add some mayonnaise.
Yeah.
So no measurements, we're just gonna kind of add and then see if it's too liquidy. We can add some more in this little mini bowl that we have. So we have the aioli here. We added a little salt and pepper.
Yeah,
it's all mixed up. So yeah, just some jarred salmon juice, which you don't have to use if you don't have it.
Oh, but one thing, I love a little bit of lemon in here.
Oh, please.
Just adds a bit of, you've got the fat from the kind of the deep flavor of the fish oil, and then mayonnaise is a little heavy. So this just lightens it up.
Thank you. Okay, so, usually I say about 5 minutes. You just want to check and see how they're looking. So we're just gonna do a little flip and check. Oh yeah, I think that looks good. So 5 minutes and then maybe a little bit less time on this side.
Wow, Rachel, those look really beautiful.
Yeah. So the thing with, most of the ingredients in here is that it's okay if they're not like fully cooked like a hamburger. So it doesn't have to be as flat as a hamburger, I guess.
I feel like
I don't know. I don't want to squish it and then we have like broken patties, but
I know. So don't touch them, kind of like.
I'm just gonna leave them and see what happens.
So wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
That was so great. I can't wait to make those at home. And don't forget that you can use your friendly zucchini or sweet potato as well. Squeeze the water out of these.
Yes.
Okay. Yesterday, we spent a beautiful day, National Indigenous Peoples Day, on the water and learning, and then you sharing this delicious food that we'd also think it's the first day of summer as well. And so really honoring that we were on the water, and that also this is a time where we can drink more fluids because of the heat and the water. And so just grounding ourselves in the teaching that water is medicine.
Yeah.
Right? And water is medicine like when you're on it, connected to it, beside it, but it is truly medicine for our bodies. We have made some infused waters, and I have had the honor of people just kindly sharing with me, and in Lekwungen homelands, fir is very prevalent, but we are here, and so hemlock and of course spruce are the evergreens of these lands. And people were kind enough to share with me that these are like nature's Gatorade. So putting the spring tips of fir, hemlock, or spruce, infuse them in water. You can infuse them overnight in the fridge. I've heard that you can also, and I've tried this, for 6 hours in the sun, just like this, and you can have a sun tea. So it's nature's way of doing iced tea. And so the sun brings in the heat and extracts the flavor and the medicine from the plant into the water. And so you can try a variety of different flavors. So this hemlock was just, the little tips were taken off last night and just put into water, and we just kept it in the fridge overnight. And then you can strain it and just enjoy getting the vitamin C and the potassium from the plant. And that's what they add into Gatorade. Yeah. But nature provides it for us from these amazing plants that are all around us. And then of course, just lemon, lime, cucumber. We had some strawberries and berries that we left in Tofino, but you can put kind of whatever you have. And then in here today, I put some fresh oranges and of course, the beautiful salmon berry. So we're very honored that it's this time, it's time to ripen. So we put some salmon berries in here with some orange and some lime. So really it's your own opportunity to choose whatever you have. And you know, we also use carbonated water sometimes. So we have these bubblies, and I know some people like them. These are a real healthy choice. You recommend these, right?
Definitely, yeah, I love bubbly.
Yeah, and so you can add it to bubbly water or just plain water, whatever you have. And so we just wanted to honor the water since we're surrounded by it on these beautiful lands. Just really remind people that so much time people can have trouble with their digestive tract or their, you know, bowels, and it can be that we're not getting enough fluids. And I have I guess I have two elderly parents. And they have noticed as each decade, their thirst really has reduced. They just don't feel thirsty as much. And what we know is as you age, your ability to kind of feel thirsty reduces. So it actually has to be something that you're conscious of. Yeah. So trying to encourage that as much as possible.
Thank you for the reminder. Okay, so I think these are done. So I'm gonna take a few of these off and see if we can offer them to some community members and see what they think, because, you know,
that is, yeah,
it's brave. There we go. Okay,
wonderful.
Should we go visit some friends?
Yeah, let's do it. I know we missed a lot and need to get our hands dirty with the clams here. They look so good.
Hi, Greta.
Here you go.
I was just thinking of making those too.
Is it hot?
Oh, really? Yeah. We'd love to hear your recipe.
Tell us what you think. Be honest.
Just put a little bit of milk in it. That's all.
Okay, yeah, to keep it kind of moist.
Before browning it.
Yeah.
Works good.
Thumbs
it's okay?
up?
Passes the test?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So now I'm really excited to share with you my favorite way to eat herring roe, or in Nutallnith it is called KwAKMIS. So this herring roe is from the Heiltsuk Nation. They harvest it and sell it and distribute it across the communities. So this is from this season, and I'll just pick it up here. So
gosh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, so this is my favorite way to eat the herring roe when it's spawned on kelp. You can also get it spawned on, they call it like leaf kelp, or on hemlock, which is what's commonly eaten and harvested in these territories. So it varies year by year on how thick the herring roe is. So last season, if anyone had any roe from last season, it was very thick. And this is a thinner version, which actually works best for this way of cooking KwAKMIS. So I'm really excited to share with you. It's actually my mom's recipe, and my mom is originally from Hong Kong, so it has a little bit of an Asian twist.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Yeah.
What's your mom's name?
My mom's Helena.
Oh, she's in the house with us today.
Yep. And so I will also share that here in Ahousaht, how they traditionally would cook herring roe is to bring some water to a boil and simmer it for a few minutes. And then you know the roe is cooked when it's kind of gone white, you know, and you also don't want to overcook the roe because it will go squishy. So.
Oh, so it's a delicate balance. So yeah, it's got a bit of a yellow ambery look to it, so when they boil it, it'll turn white,
and that's when we know it's cooked. Yes. So
great.
How I prepared this roe is I had frozen it in its brine. And I defrosted it last night. And this morning, I just ran it under cold water for about 10 minutes. That's how my Grandma Marie taught me how to kind of get the saltiness out of it. But we want to keep a little bit of saltiness. So I tasted it along the way. So I just picked off a little egg and tasted it and made sure it wasn't too salty, but it had just the right amount of salt. If it was the really thick roe, you would want to make sure you soaked it for at least 4 hours. So someone in the community here mentioned they would take it out at breakfast, soak it, and then have it for lunch. So that was for the thicker roe. But you definitely wouldn't want to soak this roe for that long because it would lose its saltiness, so its natural flavor. So what I'm going to do for this recipe is I'm going to just cut the roe into, I like to have it in, squares this big, and then we will dip it in my special Asian sauce.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Okay. Okay, so for this recipe, what we're gonna do is, so here we have some regular chicken eggs. We're just gonna crack 4 eggs in this bowl. And then I'll ask Fiona to whisk it and,
Oh, please.
All right, so while we're whisking the 4 eggs, I'm just going to get some soy sauce.
Woohoo!
Adds a little bit of saltiness, but also that kind of really savory flavor. So I'm just going to, usually I say about a teaspoon for 2 eggs. So I'm just going to do 2 teaspoons. I'm just really guessing there.
And you'll see that we don't really measure, but we've cooked for so long. So if we're making you feel uncomfortable, do measure.
Okay. So I have the grill here kind of like a medium high, but more on the high side. So what we're gonna do is just dip this in here, and then
so it's gonna have a nice little
fry
coating.
it.
Wow.
Yeah. And so I did mention that this roe that's a bit thinner works best for this kind of recipe because we're not simmering it or boiling it. Frying it, we'll be able to cook it all the way through. Whereas if it was a really thick roe, we might have trouble if we were trying to fry it to cook it all the way through.
Wow, these look really delicious.
Yeah.
So how long each side?
So we're gonna cook these for just a few minutes each side.
Okay.
We can kind of check it in about a minute, and just like we can really tell, I can tell from this angle if the roe is looking cooked through. So we want to see that half the roe is turning white, and then I'm going to flip it over.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we're going to play with the heat too, because I also don't want, as the roe is cooking, for the egg to burn. So yeah, let's see.
So you're looking, that's so cool that you'll actually see it turn white.
Yeah.
Well, while those are cooking, we're just taking wild greens and we're gonna add some beautiful salmon berries to the top.
Wow.
And then, I always love a little crunch, and we're honoring the, one of the nuts that's actually from these lands, which is hazelnuts. So we're gonna just sprinkle some hazelnuts. So we've got the wild greens, so, full of vitamins, minerals. And I always love when you think about spring greens, we haven't been eating a lot of fruits and vegetables during the winter, and then the spring greens come up and they just get our digestion going. And then the color of the berries that happen and start to just give our body those medicines as well. And so the first berry of the season, the salmon berry. And then Rachel grabbed our beautiful wild rose. Outside your house, you have a wild rose plant.
It smells so nice.
There's nothing to me more special than the medicine of rose, and just its protection and care for the body, the spirit, but also for us as women, and also babies. So just adding a bit of that beautiful rose color,
Wow, that is
to
so
the
pretty.
salad, and just kind of honoring the plant friends, you know. And just we thought for our group, making a little bit of a dressing, because sometimes you want a little bit of flavor. Sometimes I'll use frozen berries, and I might not, as they defrost, you don't need a dressing, but lots of people love a quick dressing. So I brought balsamic vinegar or red wine vinegar, and when I'm making a vinegar or a dressing, I really do similar what you said, but sometimes like 2 tablespoons of vinegar, and I like to use both, and just
So that's red wine, and this one is...
this is balsamic. Thanks, Rachel.
Lovely. I love, balsamic, but yeah, too much of it is, I find, too strong.
Yeah, and so I'll grab some olive oil from you. So kind of then double the amount of oil that you had of the vinegars. And so you've got the acid from the vinegars, then you've got like a bit of fat from the oils, and so a little bit of sweetness. So what have I learned yesterday? A little bit of hummus into the dressing, just to kind of take the bitterness away. And then I usually have a lid, which we're missing a lid today. Let's see, oh, look at me. And then you'll just shake it up. And sometimes I'll add a little salt and pepper, or mustard would be really nice in here too. We could add a little bit of mustard. Or sometimes I'll mash a little berry and add it in. So really, when I'm making a vinaigrette dressing, it's just quick and easy. But it's kind of always having the fat, so the oil, the acid, which is the vinegar, and then a little bit of sweetness. And then we'll drizzle it on the salad and off we go. I do want to taste it first though, to make sure I did a good job. All right. Perfect. It's great.
Wow, that is so beautiful. I love the wild foods from the land, the hazelnuts, the rose, and the salmon berries.
Perfect.
Okay, so I'm gonna check and see if these are cooked. So I'm just gonna start flipping them. Oh yeah, that looks like it's been cooked. So you can see how it's turned white, from translucent to white.
That is amazing.
My grandma Marie actually, her KwAKMIS recipe is called KwAKMIS chop suey.
Tell us more.
And so she just like simmers the KwAKMIS to cook it. So cuts it into little strips and simmers it, and then adds it to a stir fry of like bok choy, broccoli, carrots, onion, and adds soy sauce. And that's her.
So that was just egg and soy sauce.
Yeah.
So simple.
Yeah.
Wow.
And another thing I really love about KwAKMIS or herring roe on kelp is that kelp or seaweed is such a nutritious food. What it's mostly well known for is its iodine content, and there's not a lot of foods that have a lot of iodine. Seafood has iodine, and if you're not on the coast, then accessing iodine can be tricky. So having seaweed in your diet is important to get the iodine. And so what iodine is important for is thyroid health, but also very important for expecting mothers, because it's also very important in brain development. So there are stories of trade networks from the coast all the way to the interior of BC, and in finding seaweed cakes in the interior of BC because the seaweed was heavily traded. All right, so I'm just going to check. So it's looking pretty white. You can see it's white all the way through.
Yeah.
So I would say that is done. So I'm going to take these off and just put them in here.
I think the raven wants some. Well, we're excited to go share the KwAKMIS with the elders and eat ourselves, I think. Yeah, well, thank you. This was a really great, I can't believe we were here in this beautiful place, and I learned so much today from you, so thank you.
I learned so much from you. Yeah, and thank you to Tom.
Yeah. Hey, Tom, come here for a sec, buddy. Well, we just finished, so now we can relax.
Yeah.
But we just wanted to just hold you up and thank you so much for the last 2 days. We have just learned so much and had some good laughs.
Yeah.
I might have white knuckled it a little bit on the water today.
And thank you guys for trusting me. That's, it's one of the things that, as a boat driver, I know a couple of screams. Not too bad, but
When you start swearing, then it's really serious.
yeah. Well, it's serious for you guys, but not me.
No.
It's my livelihood, traveling the waters. Like I was telling you about a couple of storms I've been through. That was nothing today what we were doing.
I know.
When we go harvest like lingcod, we'll catch 50 to 60 lingcod and just throw them on a dock and feed the community.
Oh, wow.
And whatever else, snappers, give them all away. In fall time, we'll go harvest chum salmon. Same thing. We used to get 1,000 a day and just put it on a dock, and people would come down and take it all and put it in the smokers nowadays. But there's not that many fish around anymore, so. And
So just down here, you would have 1,000 fish?
yeah, throw them on a dock down there out of
Wow.
one of our boats. And it's been a lifestyle, you know. Yeah, it's been a pleasure to be part of your group this couple days.
I had a blast. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Today.
I'll serve these while
Yeah.
they're hot. Did you like these?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Awesome.
Delicious.
And then hummus.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. I do love the dog. I was having like a massive crush on the dog while we were filming.
Chu Sakshi wa tayahe ko asitakshi kwa KwAKMIS wa chamehtat ni semaksi tutlat tahaye kwa it koas tutlat takshetna ha inchit ha oke chukwa ha kwat ni semaksi tahaye Tlekoani suited Aquapit big chaniwa Haquani Tlahoy Tlusat Seboxti Tleko.
Chew.
Chew.
Thank you, Rachel.